Good evening, even though it's very clearly the afternoon. Welcome to UCS Good News, a weekly live broadcast where we highlight positive news stories from all over our school community. And this week, just like last week, we reached out to you and your Mardi Gras beads and your king cake babies. We asked you to share the good news, and the response, as always, was gratifying. We always say on the show, we get to share the good news, but you are the good news. So on behalf of myself, the entire UCS Good News production team, and this pretty package of punchkis here, punchkis, we'd like to thank you to everyone who submitted a positive news story this week. Still getting the hang of that. Sorry, I'm from Virginia. And with that, it's time for some good news. Okay. We celebrated Spirit Week at UCS recently, and Room 221 showed off their Western Wednesday looks here. Pretty authentic, not to be outdone. Mr. Taylor featured here. You may that hat may look familiar to you if you're a fan of swashbuckling films. Just wanted to point that out, but thank you guys for participating. Yeehaw. In other news, the 2022-23 basketball season has concluded. Thanks to those students who participated and coaches, families, and staff for their leadership and support. It was tremendous to see the growth and development throughout the season. A highlight to recognize as we close the season is the first place finish for the third grade boys team in the St. Mark's Snowball Tournament. Congratulations to the team and to the coaches. The team will be celebrated this Friday with a parade through the halls, and their trophy will remain in the display case in perpetuity for years to come. More good news, family spotlight here. Mrs. Roddy is a UCS parent, and she was recently featured in a Cleveland.com article. Mrs. Roddy is Elmira Elementary School's family support specialist, which is provided by the nonprofit Say Yes Cleveland. The story details how she helps a student who is being bullied at the school. From legal aid, healthcare, housing to foods, Say Yes specialists like Mrs. Roddy are embedded in every school building within the district and a handful of partnering charter schools, and they work to help students and their families with obstacles they face and to connect them to resources within the community. It's a position that within the article, students, families, staff, and faculty unanimously say is invaluable to the district and to the city. Mrs. Roddy has two children at UCS, Maddie, who's in third grade, and Megan, who's in sixth grade. So thank you. Thanks a bunch for all of your good work, Mrs. Rowdy. A little bit of a field trip update here. The students in Ms. Harrison and Mrs. Manal's class had a great time learning about strato and shield volcanoes with Ms. Helen at the Carnegie Library. Here they are, and they were excited to continue researching volcanoes when they returned to school. Not to be outdone, fifth grade had a blast on Wednesday at the charge game. Thanks, Ms. Cooney, Mrs. Manal, for organizing. Students used their math skills to record player stats throughout the game and saw an anti-bullying program throughout halftime. Urban squash students were also on location recently. They wanted to share some photos of the team nationals in Philadelphia. Brianna says, as always, thank you for the support. She says the kids did such a great job. She thinks this would be a great highlight for our school. This was a high school tournament, and Gabe, Dariel, Kent, and Anaya held their own as middle schoolers. Our girls team placed second, which is amazing. Our boys placed seventh. We're very proud of them and very happy that they all had this experience. Thanks, Brianna, for sharing. Okay, now it's time for Creation Station, where we feature the creative exploits of UCS students. Fourth grade spent some time creating Valentines during Valentine rotations. Here's a student thinking outside the box. These Valentines are adorable. I'm not lying. Some other beautiful creations. Another student celebrating the holiday. Final picture. This gentleman is playing Hard to Get. Okay. Now it is time for Teamwork Breaks the Dream Work, where we celebrate UCS community members working together to solve a common challenge. Room 220 and their buddy class in room 112 enjoyed making Valentine's Day bags with each other. Third graders Elizabeth and Travis work together to turn and talk about a historical fiction story on the Titanic. Don't worry, I will not spoil the ending for you. And then buddies in Mrs. McIntyre's fourth grade class and Mrs. Sarah's class, an infant and toddler, right here. Here are two students engaged in an intergenerational staring contest. And then here's a future Motogo student showing some natural aptitude. Okay. Are monsters good at math? Not unless you count Dracula. Here's some news from the subject that counts. In Miss McIntyre's class, these are students with Dojo 100-point accomplishments. Congratulations. Okay, meow. It's time for Perfect Pets, the feature where we feature pets of UCS community members, both real and Meowgenary. Just one this week. Can you please show this picture of my cat on UCSGN? Yes, Harper, we can. So here's your cat featured on UCSGN. You want to feature your cat? Send me an email at the email address scrolling below. Okay, last week we climbed in the DeLorean for Throwback Thursday, and I asked you trivia question. I believe it went something like this. Which UCS middle school staff member served in the U.S. military as a paratrooper. A paratrooper, not to be confused with the Koopa Troopa, anthropomorphic turtle-like creature from the Mario games. You guys had some answers. Carolyn wrote in and said, "Is it Mr. Barrett from 7A?" George wrote in and said, "The Wayback Wednesday is Mr. Barrett." And Roberto wrote in and said, "I think it's Mr. O." Okay, can I get a drum roll, please? Yes, I can. All right, so who is the mystery paratrooper? Well, Carolyn and George, you hit the nail on the head. It's Mr. Barrett. So if you got questions for Mr. Barrett about his experience, either talk to him when you see him or send him into the show, and we can pose them from a distance. Okay, time for Twinning is Winning. Twinning continues to be winning at UCS. Twinning is winning with Miss Chelsea and fourth grader Jaden F. here in matching plaid. Twinning is also winning in fifth grade. Tavion P. and Brandon S. were spotted twinning in their panda dunks. And in room 220, Victoria and Sophia were twinning with new haircuts, matching clothes, and even their shoes. That is an impressive degree of twinning. Okay, don't forget, I've been saying this for a while, but it's really true. We need you because we'd like to transition to a few student anchors here for the remainder of the year. And so today I'm talking to Harry in middle school. You are first in the queue, my friends. I'm going to be reaching out to you. Hopefully we can get you situated so we can practice on some scripts, maybe for next week, maybe for the following week. So keep an eye out for me. But if you want to be on the show, send us an email and we'll try to work you in. Okay, mail time. Got a couple mail letters here in the mailbox. This is a really impressive one that I'm having trouble reading right here. But Miss Regan and Corey Young are going to be honored as Drink Local Drink Tap's Teacher of the Year and Wave Maker of the Year because for their collective dedication to amplifying the work of that organization. So congratulations to Miss Regan and Corey Young. And next week I will show a version of this that isn't microscopic. Okay, got this this note. Wanted to show on the show. Pretty impressive. Let's do that one more time. Remember, be safe on your trampolines out there. Don't try this at home or without parental supervision. Okay, Naomi wrote in and says, "I kind of missed 2022. Can you share this on UCSGN?" Yes, Naomi, I can. All right, a blast from the past, 2022 here. Okay, good. And let's see here. Janelle, no, actually, it's time for our favorite segment here. It's another segment of Getting Figgy with It. We actually had multiple students capture some video of Mr. Bonfiglio out there in the middle school. So here we go. I have footage of Mr. Bonfiglio yelling in quotes, and I hope to show it on UCSGN. Okay. Well, I've edited this in advance, and I think it's safe for public consumption.
Somewhere with no protection again, because you already know my answer.
All right, that's one angle. Lucky for you, Mr. Bonfiglio, we've got another angle here.
Hundreds of people that have died. And Dr. Stroud, hear me out. I don't want to die.
Oscar-worthy performance. Thank you, really giving your all there, Mr. Bonfiglio. And I think we've got one more actually, which sets a record.
What a wonderful world.
Let's try that one more time.
What a wonderful world.
Indeed, it is, Mr. Bonfiglio. Okay, thanks for sharing, students. And then Milo wrote in. He said, "Hey, look at my epic game." Milo, we are going to take a look at your epic game right now, and we'll close the show on that. So I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to go over here. Nope, I'm going to go over here. There we go. I'm going to add this to the stream. Okay, there we go. Here's Milo's game. All right, here are the instructions. It says become a world leader, choose from many people, including George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and others. Dodge scandals to stay in office. Maybe pass some legislation too. Use your mouse to maneuver your character. And the rating goes from Ohio State fan to Baron von Steuben. Okay, so let's go with, I think I hit the green flag. I'm going to expand. Milo, I'm going to hit the green flag. No, green flag here. And then time alive, and I think I hit this bubble up here on the left to become the president. Oh, I'm George Washington. Stay away from any turmoil, scandal. Got to keep the unimpeachable name of our first president clear. Okay, and that's how the game is played. Milo, thank you very much. I think I've got to be in first place here. And that's it for this edition of UCS Good News. Tune in next week for all the latest good news. I am Mr. McLaughlin. Have a wonderful day.